Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Brett Suggs. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great, man. Can't wait to get the podcast underway.
Okay, so just kind of tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so as you said, my name is Brett Suggs. I'm 21 years old, living in Mooresville, North Carolina. I graduated college in December, a semester early from High Point University. I've driven race cars since I was 4 years old. It's really just been our own family team, kind of getting me up through the ranks. Originally from Florida, moved to Mooresville in 2015 to continue being in the motorsports industry. And now I've been graced with a great opportunity to drive pro late models in the Cars Tour.
Yeah. So how long have you been driving in the Cars Tour for?
So Wilkesboro coming up next week will be our fourth race. This is our first time at it. The team TH Motorsports that I'm racing with, they've had a little bit of experience with the tour. They did some of the pro late races last season. They've also ran it when it was still super late models back in the day. But you know, for me, for my driving, this will be our fourth race in the tour itself.
Obviously this is probably one of the biggest races of the year. Actually, with a lot of cup drivers going to be in there.
Yeah.
A lot of people that you grew up watching. What's that going to be like? And it's going to be like qualifying for trying to get in this field too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a star-studded field, as you mentioned. A lot of heavy hitters, NASCAR drivers, and such. It's going to be a pretty iconic, event. I've never, ran on such a historic track. The most historic track I've ever raced on is Hickory, and that's got its own, history to itself. But it's going to be a neat deal, and like you said, all the big names that are going to be racing. I know there's a lot more on the late model stock side, but we have Jordan Taylor running the pro late model. I haven't seen a official entry list out yet, but even the short track guys, I mean, there's some heavy hitting short track talented drivers that are going to be out in that field. So if we can, I'm confident in our team and confident in what we can do to qualify into the race. They're taking top 36 plus 2 provisionals. So we've had a pretty good season up to this point and some pretty good success, and I'm hoping to keep that going.
Yeah. So this is what's it going to be like driving a car around North Wilkesboro?
It's going to be totally reminiscent of all my time on iRacing at Wilkesboro. I, unlike a lot of people around the local community, never went to Wilkesboro races back in the day. I mean, like I said, I'm from Florida, and I was too young, or I wasn't even born really the last time they raced the Cup Series there. So it'll be pretty unique experience. I went last summer for the racetrack revival, working on the media and the content side with a few teams, and to now kind of trade that in and jump behind the wheel and experience it firsthand is going to be pretty remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, you're only 21 years old. You graduated from college, and you also have a job too, completely outside of it is in racing kind of, but
right, in a way, yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah. So what's that, working in racing and then trying to pursue a career yourself, what's that like?
It's definitely a balancing act. We're only into the 5th month of the year, and I've already taken quite a few days of PTO, just trying to head out to practice days or race days for the Cars Tour was on a Friday night last race. So definitely a lot to balance. I do a lot of traveling for work as well. So oftentimes I'm out of state for 4 or 5 days out of the week and trying to make sure I get my racing schedule in there as well. It's been a challenge, but it's been something that we've, made work the whole time. And on top of, working for Continental and driving race cars, I also own a marketing business, and that keeps me, I don't have a spare hour in the day really. As a matter of fact, I was just working on some hero cards for a driver that I'll be competing against next week at Wilkesboro for Luke Baldwin. So getting him some new hero cards made up, and it's a long process, just everything we do at Brett Suggs Racing Marketing. But I enjoy working with drivers and making their content next level.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of talk about like what, and you're only just 21 years old doing all this stuff.
Mhm.
How do you just like keep all like, just, set aside some time for yourself? Because everyone talks about, people can get overwhelmed with all this stuff. Like, what do you do to like, give yourself some time to yourself to just relax?
Yeah, I hate to admit it, but I really don't put a lot of time into my own relaxation. I'm always kind of on the run, on the go, traveling, whether it's for a full-time job or for racing, or for some clients with the business there. So I'd say my most alone time is when I'm in the car or when I'm on a plane, kind of just relaxing and getting ready for the week ahead.
Yeah.
I still do a lot of iRacing. I have my iRacing rig right back behind me over here. So I do some of that when I have a little bit of free time, which has been far and few between here in the past couple of months. But I still try to get out there and have some fun when I can.
Yeah. How big is this event going to be just for you personally?
It's going to be huge. I mean, it's this whole event, Wilkesboro, all the build up, everything the Cars Tour is doing with all their publicity and the new ownership. It's going to be the biggest race of my entire career, no doubt about that. I've raced Bandoleros, mini cups, quarter midgets, super trucks, and legend cars, everything in between. Nothing really builds you up more than when you're on the front stretch at Wilkesboro, looking at 20,000 fans just ready for a good race. So it's going to be an electric environment, no doubt. Uh, but I'm ready to take it on and meet all the race fans.
Yeah. How was the meet and greet last night at Wilkesboro?
It was awesome, man. Like I said, the race fans, that's what it's all about. And I burnt through all my hero cards. I had stickers, I had checkered flags, which the fans loved. Every single thing I brought, I left empty-handed, no doubt. So I had another order of 500 hero cards that they just finished yesterday, actually, but I was already on my way to the racetrack and didn't have time to stop and grab them. So I got a new batch of hero cards, updated. They turned out pretty nice, and gonna have those for next Wednesday's Fan Fest. I think that's 6 to 7 p.m. on the front stretch there. It's everything for the fans, and yesterday was just a small part of the big plan next week.
Yeah. Do you see yourself getting in like a big stock car, like do you like trucks or ARCA or something like that?
Way back in the day, that was always a goal of mine. But then kind of coming to a realization, we don't have a ton of funding. We really don't have much funding at all, to be quite honest with you. And we're always looking for more partners. Luckily, we were able to bring a few key members onto the team for Wilkesboro, and we're really trying to keep that ball rolling. I don't know when our next race is going to be after Wilkesboro because we don't have the funding to keep it going. So, I'd love to say, yeah, I'd love to go ARCA racing, or yeah, I'd love to go truck racing. Given the opportunity, at the end of the day, it just comes down to the dollar figure and what we can put together for some funding. So if we had the shot, we definitely take it. I'm real happy with the Cars Tour and want to keep pushing through with that.
All right. And then just what's it going to take to get a solid result at North Wilkesboro next week?
Yeah, so I think our average finish right now in the series is probably right around. Well, we had a ninth, we had a 13th, and a seventh, so probably right around top 10 is what we're shooting for. With how competitive the field's going to be, with how many cars are going to be on the entry list, I heard it's well over 50 at this point. You know, I feel like we've got the team and the resources to run in the top 10, at least by the end of the race. We really want to take care of tires for the longest part. But we've been building momentum each and every race. We're sitting fourth in Cars Tour points right now, and we really want to keep that going. So I'd say for us, you always want to win, but kind of a realistic goal. First trip at Wilkesboro, if we can go out there, have a clean run, make it to the end, most importantly, and score a top 10, that'd be a win in our book.
All right. Well, Brett, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck next week at Wilkesboro.
Thank you, Casey. Just want to give a big shout out to all of our partners: Racing America, McCooney Setup Shop, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, Brett Suggs Racing Marketing, everybody that goes in to make our program at TH Motorsports run, and can't wait to get on track.